Welcome to my presentation, in which I will be talking about my time working as an intern for Satore Studio. Satore Studio, founded by Tupac Martyr, is a multidisciplinary creative studio that specializes in immersive experience and visual design. The international company has an impressive portfolio working with clients within the fashion and music industry, as well as brand experience, and includes big names such as Beyoncé, Elton John, Alexander McQueen, Vivienne Westwood, and Land Rover. The project I was tasked with working on, titled Kai, is a passion project that has been submitted to the Venice Film Festival. The project is a mixed reality immersive experience following the story of a man named Chris and his lover named Violet across various timelines throughout their adult lives. I was given two tasks. The first task was to create a storyboard for the project using Unreal Engine by placing cameras in the virtual scene of a restaurant to create a series of camera shots compiled together. At first, I was apprehensive of this task as I had limited knowledge and experience with Unreal Engine, and I had doubts about my own capabilities. After watching a few tutorials on how to create a camera timeline in Unreal Engine, my doubts quickly faded away and I was able to complete the task. This has allowed me to gain confidence in my capabilities and build new skills. Being given this task, I was able to reflect upon and implement the skills and knowledge I have gained from previous modules in Year 1 of the BA Media course. In Year 1, we learned about types of camera shots, angles, frames, perspectives, focal lengths, and camera movements. Bearing everything I have learned on the course in mind, I made sure to implement this knowledge into my task of creating the storyboard. I created camera shots that involved the use of panning and tracking. I included close-up shots and long shots. I used both high angles and low angles. I also remembered what we were taught about composition by implementing the rule of thirds. When creating close-up shots, I made sure not to have my subject right in the center or to have too little or too much headroom. The second task I was given was one that is much more familiar to me, building Blender models. Although I had past experience building Blender models from previous projects I have completed on the BA Media course, I was still apprehensive about my ability to create Blender models to the standard that was expected of me by my boss. Taking on this task has given me the opportunity to build my confidence in my ability to create Blender models to a high standard, and I was able to build new skills by discovering new techniques to create models, such as using the hair particle system to create leaves for a plant. Here you can see the Blender models I created. I was asked to make 2 versions of an answering machine, and I also decided to create candles and a plant pot. Here you can see some pictures depicting the process of building the first answering machine model. As you can see, I tried to have the dials sit in a sunken pit, however I couldn't figure out how to create circular faces to inset, so I ended up not having the dials inset into the face. Here are the progress pictures for the second version of the answering machine. It took a lot of trial and error to get the shape of the curves right, as I never worked with this kind of geometry on Blender before. In the end, using the proportional editing tool worked well for me. And finally, here are the progress pictures for my plant pot. I created the leaves by first creating a plane in the shape of a leaf, by extruding the plane over the reference image of a leaf, and then texturing the plane using the same reference image and adding a very slight thickness to the plane. I then added a hair particle system to the plant stem, which I created using a Bezier curve converted into a mesh. I set the hair particle system to render as object and set the object as leaf, and repeated this for all of the stems. This was the first time I used Bezier curves and hair particle systems in Blender, so I learned a lot during the process of building this Blender model. In addition to technical skills such as storyboarding, creating timelines in Unreal Engine, and learning new techniques in Blender, I have also learned valuable transferable skills, such as working under time pressure to meet a deadline, listening to instructions, and working in a team. I also used my own initiative by deciding what Blender models to create that would suit the scene of the project, as well as deciding on which camera shots would work best to meet the creative vision of the director. The work placement has allowed me to gain confidence in my abilities, and the efficiency in which I create Blender models has significantly improved. The skills I have gained on this work placement are valuable skills that will aid me throughout the rest of my time on the BA Media course and beyond.